Happy Friday, everybody. It's Jim, it's Sean, and Sean, yesterday, my friend, you talked at length about the United States men's team headed against Panama. And, I think both of us thought, okay, well, it's not going to be pretty, but they'll probably get through. It wasn't pretty, and they didn't get through. 2-1. They were down a man because they just, have no discipline. And here we go. We're in full panic mode.
Two things from yesterday. First of all,
Okay.
Uruguay is the best team in the group. It's not even close.
Hmm.
Uruguay plays on Monday against the U.S. And really kind of just needs a draw. I mean, it's not going to matter because they're going to, they took Bolivia apart 5-0, and could have been
Hmm.
more. That's what the USA should have done against Bolivia because they're not any good. So, to me, that just shows that the U.S. is not as good as some of these other teams. Yesterday, just just the stupidity, and just you can't do this now. There's nowhere to hide now. Like, can't dive, you can't you do this stuff. I mean, you can't try to trick the refs anymore. The cameras and the VAR, it sees everything. So, this guy, you can't, obviously can't swing and punch somebody in the face or hit somebody in the face and hit somebody in the head,
Hmm.
whatever it is. I mean, it's just idiocy. They take the lead after that, which shows, probably at 11 men, they probably do okay. And then they give up a goal 3 minutes later, which is discipline. Uh, whenever you go ahead and then you go up a goal 3 minutes later, that's discipline, that's
Hmm.
focus. And, they had chances in the second half. But once again, they can't finish because they stink. And then
Hmm.
they give up the goal late. They almost, they had the penalty shot that was turned down. It was an awful tackle. I mean, if he makes
Hmm.
any kind of contact with him, it's a penalty. So, they're lucky that really the guy dove to get out of the way. Then they give up the goal. And look, if they don't get out of this group, it's embarrassing. They're better
Hmm.
than Panama, but they didn't show it last night. And they're just about better than Bolivia, and Uruguay's gonna get a result against them. I mean, this Uruguay team that could win the tournament after if you watched them last
Hmm.
night. But this guy's got to go. Everybody said, look, he had to go 6 months ago. He had to go a year ago. He
Right.
had 2 years ago. He had to go three, whatever. Like, the guy should not be coaching the team. The only reason he's coaching is because his brother ran the federation and all this stuff. I mean, he has
Hmm.
no other qualifications whatsoever. He should not be the head coach. The guy BJ Callahan did a better job, I thought personally. So, maybe, but they need to go in a different direction, and maybe bring somebody in. He'd never take the job, but Pep Guardiola, um, winners, Jurgen Klopp. These guys are
Hmm.
all available here. I don't know. I know. Excuse me. I know Pep likes to live in America. He likes it here. These coaches. You come over here, you live pretty well. It's not like
Uh-huh.
the U.S. soccer now based in. I guess they're talking about based in Atlanta. Uh, you know,
Mm.
and it's people are saying which was the bigger disaster in Atlanta last night, the U.S. national team or Biden's performance, and they said maybe it was the toss up there. Uh,
Yeah, it's a draw.
it was a draw. I mean, you know. I don't know. I do know the U.S. team keeps saying they're good, kind of like Biden said he has a 6 handicap. Both statements are false. Uh, which is the funniest thing about that whole thing last night was they didn't even they never got mad about anything, and then they started talking about golf, and it was like they were both all fired up, which I thought was interesting. Maybe they'll decide the election on the golf course. Uh, low score is the next president. It's probably about as even a way to do it as the election would be at this point. Um,
I actually played Trump in in the early '80s.
yeah, he's. people like
He's not good at all. And he cheats.
he's
Uh,
people. I
well,
don't think people,
if you know,
he's a big
if we
dude.
had that situation,
Like
if we had that situation, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, I don't think people don't realize how big of a dude he is. I mean, he's a massive human being.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I know he can hit the ball a little bit, but yeah, it's these guys.
You know, if it were me answering that question, right, I would say, great. I'm happy for you. By the way, I'm the champion golfer in my own backyard. I guess that's pretty much the same thing with you, right? I mean, just play it off as a joke. You know, just like, hey, you know, I find you've won club championships. Good on you. You know, it's your course. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But
So,
you know,
fine.
this
Who
this
cares?
this. I mean, look, this Monday. There's a possibility that now obviously Way is out. The keeper's probably out.
Hmm.
Horvath's okay anyway though. But there's a possibility they get pumped like 4-5-0. And Uruguay's a very good team. I mean, I honestly
Hmm.
think my pick now is probably Uruguay to win the tournament. I
Hmm.
said that before. I said that went on ESPN New York last week and
Right.
said Uruguay.
Hmm.
It would be my play at that price. Um,
Hmm.
and you just watch them. I mean, obviously Valverde, and now if Nunez doesn't have to score, and they had 5 different goal scorers yesterday. Facundo Palestri, the Manchester United player, Fede Valverde, Real Madrid player. If he doesn't have to score, and all these guys are going to score, they're dangerous, and that's the thing that US doesn't have. They don't have where are the goals coming from.
They don't have a 9.
Hey, Balogun scored again. He's got 2 goals in 2 matches, and I
Hmm.
was listening to the pregame show, which is I can't hardly listen to it.
You want to torture yourself with it?
It just happened to be on, and I wasn't doing anything, and they're talking about
Sadomasochist.
how Balogun doesn't do much but score goals. Well, look, that's what he's a goal scorer. He's supposed to what is he supposed to do? He's got 2 goals in 2 games. They only have 3 goals. And it's you're just listening to this, and I'm like, but they don't have he's the only one doing anything. He's the scoring the
Right.
goals. So that team isn't. So they're not.
And he's not the guy. I mean, Jessic is the guy, and he's not. And he scored 1, right?
Yeah, they're not good enough. I mean, Pulisic had he had the nice goal. And look, I mean, every
Right.
time Pulisic, every time he touched the ball, you say he was getting hacked down because he's their playmaker. But because
Right.
be, everybody knows, hey, if we stop Pulisic,
Right.
slow them down. I mean, Messi to a certain extent against Argentina. I mean, Argentina hasn't looked great in these games. Brazil obviously plays tonight, and they haven't looked great.
Hmm.
But the Uruguay has different guys that can score, and they have playmakers kind of all over the place. So, but yeah,
Hmm.
this USC team isn't long for this tournament. I don't think. We're 2 years out here. A lot could happen in 2 years. Kevin Sullivan could come in, but he's going to be 16 in the World Cup. You can't really count on him for much. I mean, I know
Hmm.
Lamine Yamal has been really good for Spain, and he's almost actually 17 at this point, but he's a freak. He's one. He's probably a top 20 player in the world right now, top 20 attacker. I mean, he's a freak player. This guy Sullivan could be like that, but to ask him to step into this team at 15 and 16 years old is, I think, a little much. So, this team won't do anything. They're not very good. They're just okay. I think because CONCACAF stinks. Mexico's terrible. They're not any good. They're not the Mexico 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Right.
There were some decent teams. This team is the shadow of what they were. They're not bringing the talent through that they were. These teams from CONCACAF, it's the same thing. Like USA and Mexico. I think the Mexican team pulls too many players from Liga MX. And
Hmm.
it's a decent league, but you're not winning any tournaments with players that aren't playing. And other leagues. I mean, you got to make a step up, and even with the American players, they're playing, and Pulisic playing for AC Milan, and Sargent's playing for Norwich, which is in the championship, and you got some keepers that are playing in the Premier League and stuff like that, but they're just not good enough. And I don't. I'm in a group chat with some, Kyle Franco's been on before, Mike Sampson and stuff like this. And, Mike Sampson's one of the biggest U.S. soccer fans that he doesn't even, he's like, I don't even watch him. He's a big Leicester City fan. So he'll watch that. But, he's to the point where he's like, it's not even fun to watch this team. And I've said multiple times, I don't care about U.S.
Right.
I'll watch it because there's nothing else. But like, when you have diehard, supporters saying like, I don't like this team, I don't like the way they play, I don't like this, that's a problem.
100%. Now, real quick, because we know we've got a little bit of a time situation here on a Friday. When we're replacing the coach, okay, Greg, don't send the laundry out because you may not get it. So Greg's gone. Do you go and get someone from Europe to be your coach? Because there's nobody in the United States who can coach this team.
I mean, if someone would, pre-show, I mean, Pep's going to be, he's leaving after this year because I think he knows what's coming with City. That's just my opinion. Jurgen Klopp is.
What would it take to get Pep? Because you mentioned in the pre-show that he likes living in the United States.
If you're Pep, would you take this job or would you take Brazil? Would you take this job or would you take England? England job's going to be open too, because Southgate's terrible. So,
okay. If you're offered the England job, I'd take that. If you're offered Brazil and the U.S., I'd take the U.S. And here's the caveat. Okay, if I could take the U.S. national team and go somewhere with them, get them to a situation where maybe they just are incredibly competitive, right? Then he's going to make more money when he either chooses to go back to Europe, or if he just wants to stay in the United States, the possibility of more cash is good. You go to Brazil, they may pay somewhat, but that's a very unstable, country at this point in time. And I'm not so sure that the Samba boys are going to get back anytime soon. Obviously, the talent is there. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying if you get an English the job with England, that's a no-brainer. But I think I would take, because of the marketing and the money that they could give you, I think that I would take the U.S. job. But I would only take it if they gave me 100% control of the team.
I mean, I just got a text right here. You got 12 hours. You got Winston. It looks like Winston McKennie. I can't tell if it's him or not. If this is really Winston McKennie, it's unacceptable going out to a hookah bar in the middle of a high-stakes tournament after our worst loss since Louisville. Like nothing matters is indicative of our culture and lack of accountability. Sad. Here's the problem. And this comes from like this 11 Yanks account, and like the problem I have, once again, if you like make your whole sports identity backing a national, like it just the problem with the national, like they don't play, it's not a team, they only play in tournaments, they're not playing all year round. It just, to me, it's just weird. Like, first of all, like I'm only American because I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but like I'm American because I was born here, right? Like it's not something like it's just by dumb luck or however, so like you don't
circumstances put you here.
circumstances and stuff like this. I mean, it's it's the same thing as like these guys that coach high school sports in the public schools, or if like I coached at a private parochial school. I can get whoever I want. Like Manchester United can get whoever you want. Like you could always get better. You could always get whatever. They play all year round. It's a team. It's an identity. Whatever. Like you're part of a town. You're part of a whatever. Like it's just weird to me. Like these players, once again, like to expect some guy to be like so devastated about a game that like, oh, I'm gonna barricade myself in my room until like they're all millionaires. They're all multi-millionaires. He's making crazy money. If I want to go out afterwards to the bar and have a drink, like that's my prerogative. Like it's just so weird to me. When Rashford does it, for United's paying his salary. Like the USA's not paying. I mean, whatever, they get savings. Juventus right now until he gets transferred, is paying his salary. If he wants to go do that, like I just don't get it. Like these people that make this whole, I talked about this with England. The England fans, the fans that follow England around are like lower league teams. They don't have any players in the squad, like Millwall, it doesn't have any players in the squad, or Bradford City, or like Sunderland, or whatever it is. Like they don't have any players in the squad, so like there's no. You don't have to like hate a player like Trent because he plays for Liverpool or stuff like this. There's not like it's like not a part of your identity. If you're a Manchester United fan, like you don't care about England. You're a Manchester United fan. So it's just to say these guys. I don't think these guys have the same level of commitment that they did, 20 years ago or 30 years ago to these teams, because they're making crazy money, and it's whatever. If I lose the tournament, I go home and I'm still got 50 million in the bank. That's just my opinion. When you're playing, I think that goes to the club level as well. I think some of these guys, I think Manchester United for too long has been paying these players crazy money, and they're just like, well, you're paying me crazy money, and you can't get rid of me. So like, if I'm hurt, I'm hurt. If I play, I play. If we win, we win. If we lose, you can't have that mentality.
Well, yeah, I mean, you either have to have, and this is something that we see that in the Olympic sports and in that whole situation, right? Is there's some countries where national pride is everything. I'll give you an example real quick. I know Alex Ovechkin from the Washington Capitals. Ovechkin loves playing for the national team in Russia. It's to him that is an incredible honor. Okay. I know some guys who play Australia. Basketball, and they play in Australia. I mean, it depends on the country, but it's the point that you made is if you're making, it's like the dream team, right? When they went to Barcelona, I mean, they knew there wasn't going to be a team that could even come close. And so, why put in the work to make it better? Because you're sitting there going, I'm going to beat these people anyway. But if you're getting paid the amount of money these players are getting paid, you really don't care about playing for your national team. It's just like okay, fine, I'll do it. And I'll take you back to one other quick example, and then we're going to pop out of here, folks. Okay, so we're getting ready to leave. And that is John McEnroe used to bitch constantly at any player who wouldn't play for Davis Cup. And I give Mac tremendous credit there. I saw John, one day, and I was in an airport, and I said to him, where are you going? He goes, I'm going, to get Andy Roddick, to get him to, to get his ass out here and play tennis for us. And so he was inspired to, as the coach of the team, to bring players in. You could do that. I mean, I can't tell you how many NBA players rushed to play on the U.S. national team for Krzyzewski, only because they had tremendous respect and had no, they wanted to play for Mike. Most of those kids, there weren't a lot of Duke kids on that team, but they wanted to play for Mike. These are pros who want to play for specific coach. So I think it just depends on the sport, and it just depends on who you have at the top of that totem pole. If you've got a McEnroe, if you've got somebody there who's coaching, like I just said, like maybe Popovich is another one of those, and then of course I just said Krzyzewski. You'll play for them because you respect them and you like them. But if you just throw some name out there, nobody gives a damn about that.
My guy Pedro Pimentel is checked in here from he's living in, I believe, Pedro, you're in Lisbon if you're still watching. He is obviously excited to see Portugal play. If you're still watching, Pedro, leave a comment and see how you think the knockout stage, because we got the knockout starting tomorrow at 12, which is interesting. We had a couple days off. You almost didn't miss it. You get that break, and it's just flown by. So tomorrow you got Switzerland, Italy, which I think is going to be, I think everyone just thinks Italy's going to roll in that game. I'm not sure about that. I think Switzerland's pretty talented. And then Germany, Denmark. And then on Sunday, you got England, Slovakia at 12, Spain, Georgia. Monday at 12, France, Belgium. Pedro's Portugal against Slovenia at 3. And then on Tuesday, you got Romania, Netherlands at 12, Austria, Turkey. Which, there's some teams in there that people might not have expected to get through, as maybe as group winners or second place teams. Spain's playing Georgia, which Georgia's never made it through to this point till this year. Portugal, Slovenia, France, Belgium, which was this World Cup semifinal 6 years ago. Austria, Turkey. I mean, that's a monster game. Those are two teams. I think those are two teams that could go to the final inside. So we got, it's going to be interesting. And this tournament, I mean, it just goes so quickly. I mean, by the time, Tuesday comes around, which is only, 4 days away, there's only 8 teams left. And then, it's just here, and then it's flash of a hat, it's gone. So enjoy it while it's here.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting, for the fans in Portugal. They've got a good team. They've got they're great fans. So we wish them all the best.
Except if they play France.
All right, fair enough. Okay, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
Look,
I like Mbappe's mask, by the way. That's pretty cool. It's like Phantom of the Opera.
I think sometimes you get, and this is you're going to see some different teams. I think here, I think you're going to it's not going to be all chalk. I think you're going to see maybe an Austria or a Turkey make a semifinal. Maybe you'll see a
yeah, but that's not bad. I mean, don't you think it's nice to see?
I think it's good. I just the tournament
good for the sport.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's good to see some of these other teams. You can't. You got to have some teams. I think that's part of the reason college basketball over the last few years is kind of you had Baylor and Gonzaga in the 1 year during COVID, and you've had San Diego State and Florida Atlantic, and some of these other schools, and I think that's good for the sport. You can't just always have, as much as I want North Carolina to win every year, you can't just have North Carolina winning every year. As much as I think that's the problem with the Premier League right now. Until they figure out, what's going on with this Manchester City and the 115 charges, you just can't have the same team winning every year. It's killed some of these other leagues. So that's why I think people are kind of excited about this Bundesliga season to see what Bayern Munich does this year, and some of these other leagues. Ajax has fallen apart in Netherlands, and what's going to happen with PSG now. No one's going to know because there's no TV contract, but whatever.
That's a good point. You can't, it's the old joke, you can't hear what you can't see. Um,
Right.
well, okay, then we'll see what goes from there. All right, look, anything you have an exciting weekend planned out there? What's going on out in Philly and South Jersey?
Yeah, I mean we got the parties tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm wondering. That was I was hoping to get you to promote
yeah,
it. So okay,
it's
well done, you.
we're gonna be at Union Boyle. It's in Pennington. It's tomorrow. We're gonna watch both games. So it's right on Route 31 in Pennington. If you're listening, you're local and you want to watch soccer, football, whatever you call it, please come out. We're going to kind of show you what we're going to do for the fall. The first Premier. It's
Hmm.
going to be obviously. We'll watch some Manchester United games there. It's going to be mainly once August comes. It'll be obviously my birthday will be on the opening day when Manchester United plays. We're going to have a big party there, but we're going to have open a buffet for Sunday morning, Saturday or Sunday. We're trying to figure out which one it's going to be right now. It's probably going to be Sunday, but this will be kind of a showcase to get people to come out and check it out. We're going to have some live shows from there. I know you probably talked to Amedeus, and you'll probably be on and something like that. We'll on Thursday nights. Leading up to the NFL and the NCAA games. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So Union Boyle tomorrow, Saturday, and then maybe Sunday, depending on how it goes.
Could you let us know where that's it? Is that in Jersey or Pennsylvania?
It's in New Jersey. It's in Pennington, New Jersey, right on Route 31. I think I have the address somewhere.
Which one did you call it?
It's pretty. It's right on Route 31 there, right by the Pennington School.
Okay.
Union Boyle Call. You see LJ back there.
Hey,
LJ's uncle.
LJ.
LJ's uncle will be there with me. Chad Bridges, the dean of Pennington School, and also the head coach of the number one team in the country, Pennington. So, yeah, it'll be pretty cool. But yeah, what's the address? It's 25 Route 31. It's in the Pennington Market. If you're if you're not familiar with the area, Pennington Market is the big place there. So that's basically the main thing. But the address is actually 25 Route 31. So um, just come out and we'll kind of that'll be the spot. We're going to be doing a lot of shows from there. So, and if you're interested, look, if you're local or you're not local and you're interested in getting on and jumping on and having a show on here, please come out and talk to us, and we will get
Mhm.
you on.
Yep, and we'll have fun.
Yeah, except if you're Bulu. Bulu might be Bulu, maybe no Bulu, but anybody else.
There you go. Um, One last thing on that, and that would be I'm losing. Oh, what's your favorite food at this establishment you're going to
It's basically a
in
seafood place.
Pennington?
They're gonna have they're gonna have breakfast food when it's in the for the
Mhm.
buffets on the weekends. They have these, and what they're gonna be doing is basically happy hour prices for us, which is really cool. They have these
That's good.
giant jumbo buffalo shrimp that are like this. They get like 8 of them. Um,
Wow.
and they're like $6 or $7 last time. When I went for happy hour, and the burgers are pretty good too. So I would have to say the buffalo shrimp. They're gigantic, and they have great food too, or great drinks as well. So I'm not a big drinker. I'll probably have maybe a soda or something like that, or a water, but
Mhm.
maybe a cider. Um, but yeah, they
Mhm.
have good food, and it's known for its seafood. He also owns
Mhm.
PJ's Pancake House. If you're from the, I'm sure you probably heard of that place. There's a few of them,
Mhm.
one in Princeton and Ewing and stuff like this. So yeah, it's a pretty new place, and they're trying to kind of pop off a little bit. So we're gonna help them.
Great. Well, look, everybody head that way. Head to Pennington. Have a great time. Watch all the games with Sean and the gang, and have yourself some fun. All right. Okay, Sean. We are headed out of here and get you back going. Everybody have a wonderful and safe weekend. We'll catch you up soon on Monday. Okay. Take care.